Leave people to deal with their own energies, their own karma. Mind your business. Mind your business. Because you never know what somebody's going through, right? Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy McLavishh. Peace, prosperity, and power. Mind, body, and soul. Death before dishonor. Speaking the truth, keeping the faith, and holding it the fuck down, man. I'm glad to be back, man. Listen, I know you guys have probably been wondering, where's McLavishh been? Where's McLavishh been? If not, that's fine. But I had to take myself a little vacation, get myself a little mental reset, went home to see family. So do not hold that against me. We all need our mental breaks. We all need to just go home, recenter ourselves, and continue to progress. What's crazy is with the spiritual experience and the insight and wisdom that God has blessed me with, I always find myself being present-minded and observing certain experiences as I go through the day-to-day things. And this particular moment was a reason why I wanted to provide this video, provide this insight for you guys, because everything in life is relative. If you guys have seen the topic, right? Everything in life is relative to your own experiences and things of that nature. So with that being said, I got an excerpt that I wrote, last night at between the hours of 1 a.m. and 3 p.m. So hopefully you guys can, stay around and listen to the message that I'm thinking about, that I'm spreading to you guys. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And let's get right to it, right? It was around 5:30 p.m. when I arrived at the proper gate for my flight. As I looked around, observing the crowd of people also ready for the flight, I took a glance towards the flight screen. At that exact moment, I realized the flight was delayed an hour. Slightly irritated due to my situation, I immediately had the awareness to not let my frustrations get the best of me and to manage the situation in a calm, logistical manner. The flight being delayed messed with my schedule to catch the last shuttle back to my house, and unfortunately would be landing outside. The flight would be landing outside of the time that the last shuttle was departing. At this moment, I was upset because I had everything planned out, everything was calculated, but it was out of my control, right? A situation completely out of my control, I told myself, and proceeded to plan to reserve a spot for the shuttle in the morning, which happened seamlessly. Boom, just like that. I caught myself getting slightly irritated, and I brought myself back to my middle ground. Have a middle ground for yourself when things don't go your way, because if you're not able to operate on a logistical and calm manner, your emotions will run over you, right? I say that to say this. What would have happened if I allowed my anger and irritation to get the best of me and innately let my emotions gain control as an automatic response to my immediate situation? What would have happened if I boiled over and went and complained to customer service about why is the flight delayed, just harass these people in a situation where they don't even have the control? How are they supposed to get the flight to be on schedule? We don't know what's going on. We don't know what variables and variations. Somebody may have died on the plane on the way here. If they did, rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's certain variables, and this is where you guys have to have a perspective when things have come out of your control. It's like it's out of your control, so you can't do anything about it. You can't change it. So continue to move forward and continue to progress, right? So let's get to the meat. Pause. At the beginning of my flight, in the row right in front of me, there was one woman who gave me a cause of concern. When she first got in her seat, she began laying down in the full row of seats. How filthy. Those seats are disgusting, I said to myself as I had recently watched a video that went over how many germs were on those seats that we sat on. I don't know if you've seen the video, but there's a video out there. It's probably on Twitter, it's probably on Instagram. A woman took a cotton swab and swiped the seat of like an aircraft, like an actual like a Boeing 757. And she let the germs and stuff muster in like a little containment cup, and so many germs, bro, so many germs, right? I had just gained that perspective and was already putting it to use. Applied knowledge is power. Knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is power. What are you doing with that knowledge, right? As I began, excuse me, let me get some water real quick. As others began to board, you could tell that she was visibly upset by something. It got even worse when the people who were assigned next to her finally arrived. Her body language shifted as if she was disturbed by what she was seeing. Instinctively, as a black man, my first cue to that type of response was racism. The body language, the way she shifted herself, the mean look of disgust on her face as an innocent Asian couple just wanting to sit in their seats were being judged due to the fact alone of being of Asian descent. Right? Now, I thought to myself, I am thinking the wrong way. Let us not automatically assume this woman is racist. And this is where I began to ponder the question again, facing the situation. What is life? Let's get to it. Keeping it brief. Life simply is. Don't let that go over your head. Life simply is. Life is cultivated into one's own experiences, perspectives, and hardwired ways of thinking that allow the journey to be what it is. I'll read that again. Life is cultivated to one's own experiences, perspectives, and hardwired ways of thinking that allow the journey to be what it is. Honestly, there is no definitive answer for it. It is a journey to self-discovery, self-awareness, and in my eyes, enlightenment. Back to the recent event, the woman asked to move seats. This cued the response again that she may have been racist. I never get myself into debates and arguments with people. I would simply like to exchange perspective from a neutral point of view, if possible. In these exact moments, I became aware of my own psychological programming as a black man, right? To automatically pull the race card, right? Assuming that this woman was racist. She began to ask the flight attendants for assistance in moving her seat, and as the flight attendants were there to assist, she began to become more disturbed about the incident. As I continued to observe the situation, they arranged her a seat in another location, only for her to backtrack and move back to her original seat. In my mind, this eliminated the perspective of her being a racist. I questioned, now why would she go back? Could the seat they moved her to been more uncomfortable? What if they moved her next to more Asians? Just rambling off at this point, right? As my thoughts began to run at this point, I chuckled, and the flight had not even taken off yet, right? Like this is, I'm observing the situation and nothing has even happened yet. It's a 5-hour flight and this stuff is happening before the flight. And I'm like, okay, it's going to be one of these. We got a problem person on the aircraft. So now my senses are heightened. I'm paying attention. I'm observing because my safety is of the utmost importance. What if this woman is, you never know, right? You never know what somebody else is going through, right? What if they, let's see. I decided it would be interesting to observe the situation while simultaneously finding a suitable perspective about the experience. This is when my spiritual side began to unravel itself, and the reality in which I faced began to unravel the immediate racist perspective I had seemed to initially think about. Right now, I have the awareness that psychologically, as a black man, it's quick, it's easy, and it's automatic for me to pull the race card. Right, but I wanted to challenge myself to a different time of thinking and look at it from a different point of view. Right. As I turned on my Delta TV screen and I began to watch Bad Boys from 1995, I monitored the situation as things began to arise. Right? Throughout the flight, this woman multiple times pressed the button for assistance. The Asian couple, which resided next to her, after multiple uses of the button, became visually disturbed as well. This gradual increase in frustration I understood, because nobody would want to continually have to shift and get up and move over because somebody's pressing a button 5-6 times during a flight, because like, we're just here for a flight. We don't need you pressing this button twice every hour. So I understood, where the Asian couple was coming from. It was one point where the Asian woman stood up and she looked at me, right? And I'm going to talk about this, right? Even the mother residing next to me in my seat, right, began to wonder why this woman was pressing this button so much. Like, it's crazy because everybody started looking around and everybody just, I had my aviators on, I had my glasses on, but people were still looking at me, and I just gave them a smile because I was observing the situation from a neutral point of view. Even the mother next to me was looking at me. She was like, yeah, like, I see it too, right? Like, this is what are you doing right now, lady? Right? That's the initial thought. This is the initial response, but this is where I began to challenge myself, right? Why was this woman pressing the button so much? I continued to monitor the situation. She continued asking for water and other things I could not really pick up as I had headphones in. I was watching Bad Boys, right? The Asian couple began to show true signs of irritation, right? So the Asian woman got up, she looked at me, she was shaking her head, she was just looking at the woman like she was side-eyeing the shit out of her, and I was just like, yeah, this is crazy. But if she try anything, I'm gonna fucking chokehold this. You know what I'm saying? Like, if she try anything crazy, shorty's getting chokeholded, right? And I could only smile because it was warranted. However, things changed when I noticed what the woman asked for next. A bag. At this point, a question popped up in my head. A couple questions, actually. Could this woman be suffering from an anxiety attack from flying? What if she is pregnant? Could this woman, with the sheer amount of worry and fear of flying, be trapped inside her thoughts about what ifs? That was the turning point from my perspective, and the insight was born, which led me to this conclusion. Life is based upon your own reality, your own perspectives of life, the experiences wrapped into who you define yourself to be. Does life exist outside of your own immediate experience? Does life stop once we cease to exist in the physical realm? Right? How are we to know life continues once we ourselves stop existing? Solipsism, or extreme egocentrism, is the word that I'm looking for here. It's a concept that nothing outside of myself exists or matters, right? Solipsism. I hope I'm pronouncing that well. Solipsism. Extreme, everything around me, everything revolves around me. I am the center of the universe. Everything revolves around me and nothing else matters except myself. Egocentrism. Very extreme narcissism. And it's not, I'm not trying to throw narcissism out there loosely, right? Because I know a lot of people throw this word around, right? But it's an extreme level of my way or the highway, right? And you can tell, right, from me, for a neutral standpoint, I can understand why these people were visually upset because this woman was pressing the button. I can understand why the mother with her child in the seat next to her, behind the woman who's acting kind of suspicious, was wondering what's going on. I can understand everybody's perspective in that situation. So it got me to thinking. After I saw her ask for the bag and she visually threw up in the bag, the Asian couple stood up and was like, whoa, what's going on here, right? We're mid-flight when this stuff is happening. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, wow, it's actually very crazy. And, you know, asking myself, what is life? Life is perspective, man. Life is perspective, man. And it's relative to your own, right? So we go back to the term solipsism, or extreme egocentrism. Everything revolves around my immediate circumstances, and that's all that matters. The universal law of karma is always amongst us in every situation. And this is the insight that I want to leave you guys with. Leave people to deal with their own energies, their own karma. Mind your business. Mind your business. Because you never know what somebody's going through, right? We all suffer, at least in this way, of minding our own business. We are able, rather capable, of managing our own journey a little better. You can never understand what a person may truly be going through. Simply observing a situation, gaining perspective, and moving forward with our lives. That's fine if you guys want to exchange opinions and perspectives in a neutral stance, but when things start to get emotionally involved and emotionally attached to the argument, or you guys start to stray off, this is where differences begin to show and realities begin to go against each other. Everybody lives a separate reality from everybody else. You're one of one. So it's going to be hard trying to convince somebody who doesn't have an open mind. Maybe this woman is just suffering from an anxiety attack on the plane. It's going to be hard for them to see that when all she's been doing is pressing this button, asking the flight attendants for assistance, and the flight attendants are even getting more upset. I just want to give you guys this perspective and really, what do you guys think about this situation? How do you guys feel? Should I have acted about something, or was I good in my situation? Let me know in the comments down below, man. It's your boy McLavishh. Peace, prosperity, and power, mind, body, and soul. Death before dishonor. I appreciate everybody who's made it to the end of this video. That's love. Let me know down in the comments that you made it. Speaking the truth, keeping the faith, and holding it the fuck down. See you soon. Yes, Sirski.